On August 2nd, 1973, three young boys were smoking inside a local water park, which was enclosed in a glass asbestos named Summerland Leisure. Carelessly, these boys threw away a match within an unused kiosk in the park. This would start a fire in which 50 people would die and 80 more would be seriously injured. The park was designed with a multitude of flammable material, such as bitumen, acrylic sheeting, and glass asbestos. Once the fire began, the children had fled the kiosk. However, adults within the park noticed the flames and brought it up to the attention of the park staff. The park staff's reactions were less than ideal, and they decided that since the fire was outside, they could quickly extinguish it and not need to evacuate the park. Unfortunately for them, the fire was right up against the building. As many of the visitors were having fun on the inside, they were not paying attention to what was happening on the outside. This allowed the flames to quickly climb the side of the building, reaching all the way to the roof, eventually reaching all the way to the ventilation shaft, which allowed the fire to spread to the inside of the building, consuming it entirely. Within the park, there was no real fire-resistant materials. This allowed the fire to spread quickly from an unused kiosk to the inside walls, causing it to spread uncontrollably. Once the flames became visible to all 3,000 visitors, they quickly rushed for the exits. Unfortunately for them, the park had locked or chained all the fire exits closed. This was to prevent people from sneaking in and without paying their fare. This would cause all 3,000 individuals to surge for the main park entrance, creating what is known as a crush. Crowd crushes occur when too many people are packed into a confined space, creating dangerous levels of pressure and making movement difficult or impossible. At densities of 6 to 7 people per square meters, individuals may become lifted off the ground and unable to breathe. The danger often arises not from the people being trampled, but from compressive asphyxia, the inability to expand the lungs due to pressure from all the sides. And unfortunately, in these situations, the smaller you are, the easier it is for you to become asphyxiated. These incidents happen when there's a sudden movement or surge in the crowd, such as people rushing towards a stage or an exit. If the space is limited or escape routes are blocked, pressure will build rapidly, and often the people at the back will just continue to push forward as they're unaware that those in the front are in distress. These are created through overcrowding, poor planning, and obviously, as we mentioned, blocked exits and panic. Prevention of these situations involves limiting crowd density or having an available exit for people to clear out of. Emergency services did not arrive for 20 minutes. When the fire was finished, firefighters and emergency responders would remove over 50 dead bodies, 11 of them being children, caused through a variety of asphyxiation, burns, and crush injuries. Another 80 would have life-threatening and life-altering injuries. Unfortunately for everybody involved, the aftermath for this incident does not hold anyone accountable. There were multiple companies involved in the building of the complex, but none of them worked together. For example, one company would build the outer shell while another company built the inner shell. This led to certain features such as fire exits and fire safety features to either be removed, modified, or simply become an oversight. Furthermore, materials were chosen not based off their resistant properties, but rather their cost-effective nature. Assumptions were made, such as assuming that the cheap acrylic panels would just fall out of its frame during a fire, allowing another escape route for individuals inside. Sprinklers at these times were not forced to be installed in buildings, and they were not installed in this building as it was too costly. Furthermore, the fire exit was blocked. And for the 3 boys who caused the fire, they were only fined £3. This was done in order to pay for compensation for the plastic lock that was damaged in order to access the kiosk. All in all, the deaths were not blamed on anybody and was essentially bad luck. Thank you for listening to today's video. This is the end of it. If you've made it to this far in the video, please consider liking, subscribing, or leaving a comment on the video and letting me know what subjects you'd like me to talk about in the future. Once again, thank you so much and have a great rest of your night.